Imagine throwing the best birthday party of your life. Everyone's happy, dancing, someone's burning the food, everyone's cheering. You're having the best time of your life. You're happy. And then 100 years from now, no one in that room will be alive. 1,000 years from now, that room probably won't exist. 10,000, 100,000, a million years from now, no one will even remember you. And a couple billion years from now, the earth won't exist. Now, that does sound depressing, and I'll agree. But if you zoom out and you start wondering, why does that sound depressing? One philosopher started wondering that, and his name was Albert Camus. And that's how we slowly came to the idea of absurdism. At one point, everyone's thought, what's the point? Why do anything? After a long night, after being sad, after someone dying, graduating, coming to an accomplishment that isn't really as big as you thought it was, or just doesn't give you the high you thought it would. Camus thought that was perfectly understandable. Everyone needs a meaning. Everyone needs something to work towards. But the problem is, if you truly, this is all about zooming out. When you zoom out, none of that really matters. So that's why it's so hard to reflect and understand that really nothing matters. So do what you want. And that's what Camus taught. As long as you give yourself a purpose, you always have a purpose, because you never have a purpose. Never. Nothing gives you a purpose. You just need to think of one and live it, because nothing matters. And that's in my opinion, that's one of the greatest ways to live in life. Because if nothing matters, no one cares, no one judges. Well, people judge, but so it. Screw them. Live, be happy, and do whatever you want. Camus called this conflict the absurd. Not because life is ridiculous or it has no value, but because we as humans, we desperately search for meaning. We have to have a purpose. We have to have something to go towards, to build, and to live. We have to have a reason to live. But the problem is we aren't born with one. Humans are born to die, and that's the only purpose we have. Our only purpose is to die. And now, yes, that sounds awfully depressing, but that's part of the reason why you shouldn't care. It's almost like screaming into a cave and expecting an answer, or yelling out into the sky and expecting an answer. You won't get one. And so you just don't do it. You live your life as is and try to do what you like. Because in the end, if you're doing what you like, then you've almost got a purpose. Camus believed, once you realized and believed in the absurd, you have three choices. One, reject life entirely. Well, yes, that is an option. It's an awfully sad one. And obviously, and it also isn't really less valuable than any of the other two. Because all three have no meaning. And that's the point. Do what you want. Two, the religious aspect. You believe in a higher being, in something put you here, so follow it, and it will give you a purpose. Sure, a good option too. I believe in God. I hope he's on my side, and I often ask him questions. But that's also the same thing as yelling out into the universe and expecting an answer. Number three, have fun. You have only as much time as you have. And so might as well spend it doing what you like, which can be really, all three of the options can be put together in the third one. But you may never find the reason. And that's the whole point. Because if you never find the reason, you make your own. And once you start making your own reasons, you start having fun. Let's go back to the party. How to have a party when there's no reason to have a party. Or how to live without a reason. Objectively, it doesn't matter. The universe doesn't care, the stars don't care, the earth doesn't care, no one cares. But does meaning have to be eternal, or does meaning just have to exist for a moment? Does a party have to be fun forever, or does a party have to be fun forever? Does music have to sound eternally, or for a moment? Do people need to have fun forever, just for a moment? Because the value really isn't in permanence. It isn't in the fact that it will go on forever. The value is in the fact that people come together, they laugh, they have joy, and for a moment, they don't worry about the purpose. They don't worry about the meaning. They just are together and forget about everything. One must imagine Sisyphus happy. That's how Camus explained his idea. So a Greek myth. A man named Sisyphus is punished by the gods. He has to roll a boulder to the top of the mountain, and every day, right, just before the peak, it rolls back down and he has to start again. Now, a pointless existence, a meaningless one. Why roll a boulder all the time? If the gods are just gonna throw it back down, why do it? But that's life. You're always trying to reach the peak, and sometimes maybe you do. A lot of the times you don't, you start from the bottom. But the core idea here is that you can't control what you are given. You can only control your attitude to it. Sisyphus can't control the fact that the boulder is going to come back down. He can only control that he's happy rolling it up, because that's his point. That's the justification. One must imagine Sisyphus happy, even if there is no point in being happy. What this means today: every day we are trying to become someone. We are working, cleaning, trying to pay our bills, and it becomes repetitive. It comes at the question of what's the point at some point? Why do it? Why do I have to do these things? But the thing is, you have to do them, want it or not. There is no real reason to do them except to survive. But that's the thing. If you stop wondering at it as a why was I given this existence? Why do I have to do this? And start looking at it as a, oh, I just have to do it. I have the possibility of doing it. It becomes so much more freeing. It always comes back to the party. Why have a party? Why celebrate my birthday? I'm gonna die anyway. But that's the point. You're going to die, so might as well have some fun while in between living and dying. Absurdism is a great idea to base your life around. That's how I've been living for the past couple of years. Because there really is no point. That's what I figured out. So might as well find a reason, make one. Because that's the only way you're going to be happy. You need a purpose. You aren't given one, so might as well find your own.